you succeed now and for future generations to come. First National Bank, the quality bank, member FDIC.
Your information station, WTIM.
You are listening to WTIM, your information station. It's time now for the WTIM Pana Morning Show, this time with Brian Booth, General Manager over there at Bob Writings in Pana. Before we go, thanks so much to these live streamers, to our show sponsors, our title sponsors, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, along with Pizza Man, Norin's Hardware, Your Pana Save-A-Lot, Whiskey Bill, Saloon and Liquor Emporium, the City of Pana, and Locked In, Loaded, Limited. Brian Booth, it's good to have you on our airwaves this morning. How have you been?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
Doing super well. It's exciting to talk Bob Writings in Pana, especially around Christmas time. I'm sure you guys got plenty of fun things going on over there, but just an introduction to you. I mean, for me, for one there, I don't know you too well, but the people out there in the community that might not know you, how long have you been with Bob Writings in Pana, and what would you want the people to know?
Well, I've been here at Bob Writings in Pana as the finance manager previously for almost 13 years. Wow. Actually, I worked at a Harley dealership prior to here in parts and service and transitioned to sales and finance there. So I've got almost 20 years working with the dealership. So I've definitely been around the block a time or two.
Very cool. And we're happy to have you, in Christian County in Pana. I'm sure you've met everyone over there, and you've done everything. You've done a whole lot in the automotive industry. How's that? The Harley dealership, that must have been a cool start.
It was a great time. Still love the people there. Still talk to them actually pretty regularly. It was a great time.
That is really awesome. So let's talk a little bit about Bob Writings in Pana, and then specifically around Christmas time. Anything special going around with you guys over there?
Oh, absolutely.
Cool.
One thing we do always try, not just Christmas time, but Christmas time, it is much more important as a lot of our buy local,
Sure.
Keep everything local. Here as a business, we buy, a lot of supplies, a lot of things everywhere. And we do try to buy everything here in town. Every one of your sponsors we do business with, We just did a big promotion here a while back where we went to, almost every business we could to do a big giveaway, just to show people that, look, you can get everything you need here in Pana. We don't, everybody loves the Walmarts, the Amazons, we all use them, but they're not there to support, your kids' teams and when you need the donations and things like that. And, they don't pay their tax dollars in the community like the businesses do. So that's why we're a firm believer in that. And we try to make sure everybody understands just how important that really is. We've lost some businesses here, and it hurts the whole community.
Yeah, absolutely. Buying local, shopping local, something that we've been talking about just so often in Taylorville, in Pana, throughout Christian County. And it's easy to think about it when we're talking about just regular retailers and restaurants. It seems just a little bit harder when we're talking about car dealerships. You think of people venturing out to finding just any random vehicle out there, but you're saying you can shop local, you can solve your problems and accomplish your goals. At Bob Writings in Pana, you can shop local there as well.
Absolutely. And with having 8 different dealerships here that we can all sell from, we have hundreds and sometimes thousands of cars to pick from that we can have down here, usually within a few hours notice. So we don't always have exactly what somebody's looking for right now on the lot, but give me a couple hours and I probably can.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you guys, I didn't realize how closely you could work with other Bob Writings like that and pull something off another lot there. That is really, really awesome. Sitting down with Brian Booth, General Manager of Bob Writings in Pana. Let's talk a little bit about, these winter season coming through here and then upkeep on our vehicles. How can you help us out over there at Bob Writings in Pana?
Absolutely. We're doing a free winter inspection. Always want to make sure tires are ready to go. Check the antifreeze, make sure that it's got the right concentration. They don't require cars nowadays, at least the general maintenance is that they used to, but there are still several things that need to be done. Especially if you have a car that's a little older, sometimes they still want an antifreeze flush. I mean, years and years ago, I don't know that there's many out there now, but you always had different oil for different seasons. And nowadays with the ranges of oil, that's not important. Most people don't even know that, but there are still quite a few things to check, and we do that actually here for free. There is no charge. You bring it in, no appointment necessary. Just come in and say, hey, it's getting ready for winter. I just want to make sure my car is ready to go. It's a courtesy thing that we do for everybody here. We'll check everything out, and let you know, hey, this is all good to go, or hey, this is something you may need to look at now or in the future.
That is just such an awesome service right there. Free winter inspections, and for a guy like me, Brian, I'm the opposite of a car guy. I get pretty nervous just opening up my hood there. So I'm happy to give it over to the professionals, especially at Bob Ridings in Pana. That is that's really awesome. And do you find that a lot? People kind of saying, "Here are my keys. Please tell me what's wrong with my car, and tell me what I need to do to fix it."
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the amount of parts. Most of these cars have 30,000
Oh.
parts nowadays that you have to have computers and things just to check things now. I
Yeah.
mean, tens of thousands of dollars worth of tools and equipment to do general maintenance on some of these newer ones. And, if not maintenance, but if something happens. So we get a lot more of general maintenance just because people don't want things.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for. And we do a lot of that. I told you I worked in service before. I was a mechanic, and I have these guys change my oil. It's so much easier, and they're trained to look for a lot more things nowadays than what we used to.
Sure. I've heard rumblings locally and abroad here of some mechanics that don't want to work on some of these more computerized cars here, not electric cars, but just cars that are just less mechanical. Not something you're going to find at Bob Ridings. You guys will work on any cars over there.
Absolutely, we work on. I mean, it wasn't that long ago I went back there and we had a 1970s vehicle. We had a hybrid car. We had a large company's bucket truck, and just a newer model truck. I even took a picture and put it on our Facebook. It was one of those. I'm laughing. We had commercial vehicles, old vehicles, new vehicles, hybrid vehicles, all in one side of our shop.
Wow.
So we can do it all.
That is really great to hear there. So free winter inspections over at Bob Ridings in Pana. Is this something that's shared amongst the Bob Ridings and other locations?
Oh, absolutely.
Cool. Okay, awesome there. Brian Booth again, General Manager of Bob Ridings in Pana. More Christmas time stuff, and is any deals, any specials going on other than the winter inspections?
We are always doing great things.
Cool.
Right now, we have some of the biggest events of the year on all the new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram products. We have their wrap up the year sales event, so they have added huge rebates. I've got new vehicles with upwards of $10,000 in discounts between Bob Ridings and Chrysler rebates. I've got some of these heavy trucks that I actually have one of my other stores called over the other day, thought we had made a mistake. He goes, "Hey, you're showing like $9,300 in discount." And that's right, and then he's going, "That's with the rebates." I'm like, "No, that is just the Bob Ridings cash. We're aggressive. We're ready to wrap up the year as well. On all of our pre-owned, we're having our year-end clearance, and our super sale is ramping up, and all of those are also getting huge discounts. I've got a Tahoe right now that we've got over $10,000 below NADA retail. We've got Expeditions. I've got all kinds of four-wheel drives, so we're really gearing up for a busy holiday season here. We always like to make sure everybody has a Merry Christmas, and we've got anything here you're looking for. We even got the big red bow.
Awesome. That is amazing. Lots of things to stay tuned to and to keep pay attention of. And we want to plug that website here in just a little bit. Is this a normal thing, Brian, working with a manufacturer as the dealership there and just stacking discounts like that? I've never purchased a car truly like from a dealership like this. Is that something you would see?
No, not usually.
Wow.
This is something that Bob Ridings is known for. We are a volume dealership. Mr. Ridings started working at a dealership, and he has grown to where he now has 8 dealerships under his name. So we have a very aggressive strategy. He has always told me that he would rather make $100 on 10 people than 1,000 on one. So we price everything aggressive. Bare minimum. We don't want you to have to come in here and fight and play the games, this price, that price. We put our best foot forward, and it shows. We've grown tremendously as a auto group and as a whole.
That's amazing. And just hearing you speak about it there and these facts that you cite, I trust you. And that's what a lot of us think about when we go venture into a car dealership. You're ready for battle there. And sometimes you don't know what you're going to be negotiating, but it's all face value there over at Bob Ridings in Pana. It's all really great stuff. Before we go, I'm sure people want to, look at your inventory over there. Can we check you out online anywhere?
Absolutely. You can go to bobridingspana.com. And that will have all of our new, all of our used, and it also will show our inventory from our other stores if there's not something on ours that catches your eye right away, or it's something I don't have. They got a different color, something like that. Everything can be listed there, and you let us know what you want, and we'll have it here.
Perfect. Brian Booth speaking, their general manager over at Bob Writings in Pana. We got to take ourselves a break now. Before we do, thanks so much to our title sponsor, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, along with Pizza Man, Norin's Hardware, Your Pana Save a Lot, Whiskey Bills, Saloon and Liquor Emporium, the City of Pana, and Locked and Loaded Limited. Our live stream brought to you by People's Bank and Trust in Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. You're listening to WTIM, your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Higher with corn, beans, and Chicago wheat. March corn up half a penny, 442 and a quarter. May corn 448 and a half, up 3/4. July corn up 3/4, 451 and a quarter. January beans up 7, 997. March beans up 6 and a half, 1002. May beans 1011 and a quarter, up 6 and a quarter. March wheat up 3, 561 and 3/4. May wheat up 3 and a half, 570 and 3/4. January bean meal 292.10, up 250. January bean oil down 18 cents, 42.62. Livestock market, January feeders 256.05, up a quarter. December live cattle up 40 cents, 188.20. December lean hogs 83.15, up 22 cents. Energy market, January crude oil 68.50, up 13 cents. USDA WASDE report out at 11 this morning. Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network.
This is Casey Evans with People's Bank and Trust, where customers have one consumer banker who knows them and provides the right financial services to achieve their financial goals. Your consumer banker is your single source for life's financial needs, from checking to consumer loans, from retirement accounts to mortgage loans, and everything in between. Call me at 888-PBT-1954. Bank with People's Bank and Trust so you can spend your time living your life, not explaining it. At People's Bank and Trust, we put people first. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Attention hunters and gun owners, you must get to Locked and Loaded Sportsman Paradise in Pana. Take the short drive and shop Central Illinois' premier gun shop. Come see the huge inventory of firearms, ammo, hunting supplies, and accessories. In stock now, custom designed Locked and Loaded t-shirts and headgear. Brush up on your shooting skills at the indoor range featuring 7 shooting lanes. If it has to do with firearms or hunting, you'll find it at Locked and Loaded on Route 16 East in Pana. Locked and Loaded, open 6 days a week. Like them on Facebook.
Here's Tim Chrysler.
Earn dots, get rewards with our new Save a Lot app, available now in your app store. Download it today to find all of our deals, including bone-in assorted pork chops, $1.39 a pound. 3-pound bags of Michigan apples, 2 for $5. USDA Choice top round or boneless arm roast at $4.99 a pound. All varieties of Czech cereals, only 3 for $9. 8-pound bags of navel oranges, only $7.99.
And 12-pack cans of Pepsi products, 2 for $12.
These prices are good through Tuesday, December 10th at your locally owned Pana Save a Lot. Hope to see you soon.
To learn more about Rolling Meadows Senior Living in Taylorville and the apartments they have available, click on their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Jansen's Heating and Air is the home of Dr. Comfort, focusing on customer care for heating and air conditioning across Central Illinois for some 35 years. Find out their services, specials, and coupons by clicking their icon on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
And welcome back into the WTIM Pana Morning Show, brought to you by our title sponsor, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, along with Pizza Man, Norin's Hardware, Your Pana Save a Lot, Whiskey Bills, Saloon and Liquor Emporium, the City of Pana, and Locked and Loaded Limited. On the phone line, speaking with us at this time, is Brian Booth, General Manager over at Bob Writings in Pana. That first half, we talked about free winter inspections happening now over at Bob Writings in Pana, and Bob Writings all over. They're all over their 8 locations. Let's talk more about the experience and the differences between big city dealership and purchasing, and then the other side, Bob Writings in Pana. Talk to us about that, Brian.
Well, Bob's always had a big thing for the smaller towns. If you look at all 8 of our stores, none of them are in huge metro areas. Some are in bigger than other areas, obviously, but we really pride ourselves here in Pana as the smallest of the dealerships in the small town. Back to the local stuff, but we don't have one of these multi-million-dollar buildings. We always say we're the low overhead dealer, and that goes back to our pricing. We don't need to make thousands on our vehicles. We're low overhead, low cost, everything there. Mr. Writings has had this dealership for 40 years, so wow. We've been here, and we don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon, and we want to keep rocking and rolling and helping out everybody and the community. as long as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned a funny thing there where you go to a large, like you said, a large metro area dealership, and it is like an architectural marvel. For some reason, these buildings are millions and millions of dollar buildings. So at least not a lot of was spent there over in Bob Riding. So I mean, talk to us about that interaction when I do want a car. How does that differ than when I'm dealing with somebody else?
Well, I tell you, I had an experience a while back. I was actually purchasing a boat. It was actually at a car dealership in one of these bigger areas, and I get there, and I'm this multi-million-dollar place, and their guy comes out and he's wearing a several $1,000 suit and fancy watches, and you just can't help but think, how much money do these people make on us? We're not like that. We're very small town, very casual, very laid back, and we get some of these people from St. Louis and in Chicago, the entire Cook County area. Wow. And they come down here, and the amount of times are like, I've never had an experience like that. And I've got people that come up regularly from St. Louis. Years ago, we sold a gentleman, and he's a car guy, buys cars regularly. We had a special Challenger, and he come up here and bought it and talked about the experience. He has bought, I would say, probably a dozen cars from us in the last 12 years, 15 years. Since I've been here, and all the people he works with, he works at a large company, and he has got so many of them coming up here, because they just didn't believe, they grew up in St. Louis or from St. Louis, that a car buying experience could, be something that isn't a headache, isn't a fight, isn't that, we've always had our guys are sitting out there, the manager's sitting next to them. We're talking to the people. We're not playing those, okay, let's see if we can do this, we can do that. Okay, they're going to ask for this. We want to make it easy. We're here to sell cars. We're here to, make it easy.
Yeah, and what you say makes so much sense. But I'm almost wanting to say that you're going against the status quo with Bob Ridings, and going against the status quo of regular dealerships, because it really has turned into that battle, and you get stress, feeling like someone's gonna pull one over on you right there. It's not what you're gonna find. Bob Ridings and Pana. It's all really great stuff to look forward to. I can really appreciate that relaxed setting, conversational negotiations. That's what you want there. Brian, we got about 3 minutes left here. Can we some quick fire questions for you right here?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Let's talk past 2-3 year timeline right here. What kind of vehicles have risen in popularity? Maybe it's been kind of a balance, but anything that sticks out in your mind of things that have been purchased a lot?
Pana area of trucks. We are a big Ram truck dealer. We also have Ford trucks. We have Chevy trucks, but the Ram trucks are awesome. Overall, the mid-size SUVs have really kind of risen, but a lot of that is, none of the big three manufacturers make cars hardly anymore.
Yeah.
So everybody has kind of shifted to that, and that was kind of following consumer demand. But, you see a lot of these smaller and mid-size SUVs that have really kind of risen in the place of the cars. And they're great. They get just as good, if not better, fuel mileage than the older cars. You have a lot more room, the safety features on them. I mean, it's just technology advances, and they're superior in almost every way.
Sure. Oh, okay. It doesn't surprise me too much there on the trucks, but you guys got enough trucks for everyone out there, and all the brands they need. What does the electric vehicle conversation of it all mean to you guys over at Bob Ridings? Do you think about hybrids? Do you think about electric vehicles? Is that even an option to sell? What does that look like?
Absolutely. We do have hybrids here. Cool. I've actually got a couple hybrid Jeep Wranglers. And I know a lot of people get scared of them. I've drove those Wranglers. Mr. Ridings actually took one off my lot to try for a weekend, and I think he's had it for almost a year.
Wow.
They're awesome. The ride, it's nice. It's not dependent. It's on the electric. You have the benefit of having the gas and the electric. If you don't have to plug the thing in. Mr. Ridings, we were talking about the other day, he's had it for a year and has never plugged it in. It charges itself while you're driving.
Wow.
You can plug it in to get it. It just kind of boosts you around. They're silent. It's really pretty cool. We have had full electric vehicles here. We actually have two of the charging stations here. If people need, we charge them here. Not super popular in the smaller rural areas yet. We're not opposed to them. We do have all the equipment to work on them. Again, we're being able to work on everything. We have bought all the high voltage required stuff. I mean, we have everything here. And we do see them. Like I said, we've had several here and have sold them. And they're fun. They're cool.
Yeah. We still got you, Brian?
Yeah.
I'm just glad to hear it's not a flat no on the electric cars there. You guys are moving in all the right directions, and we're totally out of time. Brian, I really appreciate you for speaking on our show today.
All righty. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. That's Brian Booth, General Manager over at Bob Writings in Pana, with so many great words for our listeners today. That'll do it for the WTIM Pana Morning Show. Thank you all for tuning in.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W241 CF Taylorville, 107.5 W298 CD Shelbyville, 107.9 W300 EH Payne and Nokomis.
Records in New York show that the 26-year-old alleged to have gunned down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson has been charged with murder. Luigi Nicholas Mangione is in custody in Pennsylvania after police responded to a tip from a customer at a McDonald's in Altoona. Deputy Police Chief Derek Swope.
That man was out.